Are you seeking a better way to accelerate your sales, to scale your business, to live a life with no limits? Accelerate Sales Podcast features global experts who have cracked the code to recurring revenues with proven sales systems and get you on the fast track to scaling. Now let's accelerate your sales with today's episode.
Hello to the Accelerate Sales Solo Podcast, episode number 366. Today's topic is 4 things to get right when selling your business. You'll learn about IP, intellectual property, contracts, employees, and the sales team. If it's your first time to the Accelerate Sales Podcast, welcome. If you love what you hear, please subscribe. If you're a regular, thanks for your support. Appreciate every review I get, whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, etc. It helps other people like you to find the show. Please check out past shows on your favorite platform. Just search Accelerate Sales and don't forget to check out those interview shows. So you started your business with the intent on selling, but then hard work kicked in and the dream was shelved. You focus on your business model, your ideal client, your offerings, your marketing and sales and team. And let's be honest, life got pretty busy. Am I making sense so far? Because that's certainly what happened to me. And you've done all the work now. Actually, you've probably done the work really well. And the team is taking care of a lot of things that used to be on your plate. So what is the next step? So you may be circling back to the idea of selling your business, but don't quite know where to start. I will cover 4 essential items which we learned the hard way when selling our cloud consulting business in 2019. Write down your specific questions if you have them as you go, and just email me at paul@paulhigginsmentoring.com, and I'll go into greater detail about our personal situation and how that might apply to you. Before I continue on the 4 elements or the 4 essential steps, I'd like to talk to you about Book Like a Boss. So Book Like a Boss, all in one, or what we call it is BLAB in short, BLAB. Most of you would have used a scheduler before, maybe Calendly, Acuity, you may use paid or free ones. But the reason I switched to Book Like a Boss or BLAB is for a couple of these key reasons. One is that it's got great integration with Zoom and also Google. The second is that you can actually have people pay for your service direct through Book Like a Boss, which I think is fantastic, and it's very easy to set them up. The third thing is having a landing page builder built in native into the platform. The next is embedded videos, and the last one is the ability to have testimonials. So it's just a wonderful platform, and it continues to improve. Why not check it out for yourself? Just go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/blab. So let's go through the 4. So the first one is IP. So IP is short for intellectual property, and it's intangible property that is the result of creativity, such as patents, copyrights, etc. So some examples when we sold our business: trademarks of our brand, also the copyright on our training, which was super important, and also some joint promotional material where the platform we were selling, or there's a couple of platforms, we'd actually had approval from them to do certain things with their brand. So that was incredibly important. And in the due diligence, we were asked for the IP, and you're going to be asked the same. So it's might as well get it protected. I know everyone puts it off because you don't want to pay lawyers anything, and apologies for any of you that are lawyers, but really you need to do this in preparation for the sale, and not having the correct protection will reduce the sale price. So that's IP. Number 2 is contracts, which is sort of related. A contract is a written or spoken agreement, especially one concerning employment, sales, or tenancy that is intended to be enforceable by law. Just a definition I got off Google. Some examples when we sold our business was vendor contracts, client contracts, key employee contracts, and supplier contracts. By negotiating a reseller agreement, the specific clauses helped us get a higher multiple, because yes, it's great to have it in words, but I can't remember who said it, but it was someone basically saying that, nothing is enforceable unless it's actually in writing. So make sure you get those contracts, and always start with the end in mind, right? So thinking, okay, I'm going to sell the business, I need to have those contracts signed please don't just take anything verbal. Also, having 3-year contracts with clients was super important for us. So we've gone through IP, contracts. Next one is employees. I love the quote by Michael Hyatt, the author of The Best Year Ever, and also other leadership and productivity books. You don't have a business until you have a team. I mentioned above employees and contracts, but it's just a starting point. The hardest decision we found is, when do you tell employees? And to be honest, there's no textbook answer to this. We went early as we wanted key employees to go across with the sale of the business. But in particular, what we worked on, and you can do the same, is standard operating procedures. I know no one likes them, but you can definitely do them. If you want to find out how we do them, just get in contact with me. Are very important because it does reduce the risk of key people and other people, because when you sell the business, not everyone wants to take on your team, right? But they do want to take across the standard operating procedures. Also, what roles you and your partners do for the business and who will do them in the future. So in our case, I ran sales and marketing and strategy, and then Scott was more operations. And we had to really look at, well, okay, so Scott went with the business, as I said, as a key employee, but I didn't. So I had to really finalize what I did and how to hand it over. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. And to be honest, I highly recommend having some tools. We used Asana and Google Docs as our insurance in getting that all down. So we've gone through IP, contracts, then key employees. And the fourth one is the sales team. Are you the person who's doing the majority of the selling at the moment? If not, you're probably doing the closing of most deals. When selling and you don't go, across, so let's say, you're the owner like I was, and I didn't go across with the sale of the business, you are compelled to build the elements for a sales team to take over from you. And I think a couple of key things here, they seem obvious, but not many people do them. One is to have key software. So we used a sales CRM called Copper to do that. And then the other one is, video recordings of key calls with clients. So, or prospective clients, right? Because then they can take that and learn from it. So we use something called Fathom, so FATHOM.video. It's a free service at the moment that is really cool in the way that they record sales calls. And I'm going to talk more about them in the future of other podcasts. So we've gone through the 4 key things. So once again, it was IP, contracts, employees, and sales team. Now there's going to be squeeze of other things you got to think about, but if you get those 4 right, it'll certainly help with the value. You can get all the links in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast, episode 366, on the app that you're listening to now. I always recommend the Pocket Cast app. They're not a sponsor, but they're a great app. Please follow me on LinkedIn, and if you're not on my email list, please subscribe by going to my website. It's on the home page at the bottom. If you know someone interested in gearing up for the sale, please share this with them. Please take action to live a life with no limits.
I'm fired up after today's episode. What about you? But hey, before you go, learning is just one piece of the puzzle. Now it's time to put today's strategy into action. Head over now to today's show page at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast and share how you'll put it into action. Be sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe, rate, and review the show. Tell me what your favorite episode is. And don't wait 1 minute more to gain access to your pulse check at paulhigginsmentoring.com. This could be the difference between struggling to get more leads and making this next quarter your best one yet.